It's like it seems like people have all this stuff, but what's going on inside? So I think that's connected to our practice as well. So he mentioned about mindfulness. There needs to be more than just being mindful, and that's true. Some years ago I saw a YouTube video of a Tibetan nun just ripping the term mindfulness. So like it's being overused and oversaid and it's being sold and marketed. And then she said, if you look at it, a thief needs mindfulness. If the thief doesn't want to go to jail, they better be very mindful of what they're doing, right? So mindfulness, meditation, whatever you want to call it, is a tool. It doesn't have any meaning by itself. So that's why we have to have some kind of direction. And he mentioned this many times, of why do it? But then if you have just a direction and no tool, then it's just a great idea, right? I think it's, what's the saying? The road, what was it? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. So it reminds me of this person in our school who, before they started practicing meditation, the first time they came to the Zen Center, they got very excited about meditation. You know, everybody practicing together, the smell of the incense, the Buddha, the chanting, all of it. So he left the practice after it ended and got onto the bus during rush hour and sat in the very front seat. And he started thinking about all the different ways he was going to help the world. Ian mentioned that a few times, right, about helping the world. But what does that mean, helping the world? So he was going through this as well. So he was thinking, maybe I'll be a monk. That's the best way. No, I don't want to do that. Maybe I'll go to Africa and feed the children. That's the best way to help this world. No, I won't do that. Maybe I'll become a teacher. That would be the best way to help many people, right? So he's going through all these ideas, and then he said he doesn't remember when, but he kind of snapped out of it. And then he looked around the bus, and it's completely jam-packed like sardines, right? Everyone's standing. And right in front of him, there was a woman probably in her late 90s, early 100s, standing, holding on to the bar for dear life and just giving him a dirty look. And he was like, oh my goodness. You know, he said, if I was clear at that moment, I wouldn't even thought about it. If she came up, I would have just got up and said, please have a seat. But he was in a dream, and I call it the how may I help you dream. Or the bodhisattva dream. So just the direction itself is not enough too. That's why we have to have a practice. But we can't just have a practice without a direction. So it's like two wings of a bird, right? We have to have some tool. It could be mindfulness, it could be meditation, whatever the tool is. Then we have to have a clear reason why we're doing it. But that's hard to do, especially maybe some of you know who don't live in the Zen Center or haven't practiced in the Zen Centers. It's very difficult to practice meditation on your own. For many reasons. First of all, you can do pretty much anything you want, right, when you're at home. Like today, yeah, I'll just sit for 20 minutes today. Maybe I'll just wake up 5 minutes later. You know, this kind of thinking, right? You can follow anything you want to do. So I call it following your karma. So that's difficult, right? You don't have the encouragement. When you're practicing with people, you get that encouragement. But another thing too, what's also very difficult is, and Ian kind of touched on it a little bit, is you see a lot of, I'll call them demons, but you see a lot of stuff that you don't like appear in your mind. That's natural. I hear this quite often. I give a meditation instruction. 1 week later, someone comes back and says, well, I don't think this meditation's for me. It's like, I started this meditation, now I'm thinking more than ever. And I say, that's actually not true. What you're actually noticing you're thinking now. This is how your mind is all of the time. Now you're seeing it. So it's very difficult to see that. I know he mentioned courage for a hot second, but it takes courage to look at this, our own mind. And we're always pointing the finger how bad people are, but look inside. It's not so pretty. So it takes, and a lot of things can happen. A lot of strong emotions and strong thoughts can appear. So it's very wonderful to have people to practice with to hold you. I know my teacher, when I used to sit the 3-month retreat in Providence, they have a monastery there, he said the monastery is like mother's arms, right, holding you. So you can just be. Because usually what we're trying to do is get rid of the thinking and feelings we don't like, and we want to hold on to the thinking and feelings we do like. That's the definition of suffering. That pushing away and grasping. So if we just let things be, then we can learn a lot from it. That's where wisdom comes from. If we can understand our mind, we can understand other people as well.